Hey guys, it's Mo from Mo in the Deep End with a little bit of a newsy nugget for you guys. Well, a Bush official is claiming that the US built a secret $21 trillion underground city for the rich and powerful to live in if a near extinction event happens. Ooh, the bunkers brought to us by Fallout. Coming to you, Vault Tech exclusive. Um, I don't generally like it when my government follows evil people from video games, but beggars can't be choosers, I guess. And Fallout, the season has been pretty fun, not gonna lie. But interesting. A former housing official who worked under President George H.W. Bush has made an astonishing claim that if the US government or that the US government spent years funneling money into the creation of a secret underground city where the rich and powerful can shelter if there is an event or of extinction or near extinction. So I'm glad that our betters will be okay. I mean, what will the world do if the personal inventor of the Hot Pocket didn't survive? Catherine Austin Fitts, who served as the Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development for Housing between 1989 and 1990, made the shocking allegations during an appearance on former Fox News host Tucker Carlson's podcast, although there is no concrete evidence to support her claims. Now, Fitz, 74, who is originally from Philadelphia, cited research by the Michigan State University economist Mark Skidmore, who released a report in 2017 stating that he and a team of scholars had uncovered a $21 trillion uh, unauthorized spending in the Department of Defense and Housing and Urban Development for the years between 1998 and 2015. So there are, in fact, $21 trillion that have gone missing. And now I'm hoping that we did spend them on a bunker and not figuring out why tricycles and, drunken hamsters don't mix. I don't know, but every single study I've found has been rather stupid. Now, at the time, Skidmore noted that he first began investigating the unreported spending after he heard Fitz, quote, refer to a report which indicated that the Army had 6.5 trillion in unsupported adjustments or spending in the fiscal year 2015. Now, given the Army's, $122 billion budget, that meant unsupported adjustments were 54 times the spending authorized by Congress. Does Congress authorize anything anymore, or do we just, send out bags of cash unmarked in red Solo cups? Because those are just as good for collecting things. They collect liquid really well, we've learned in, the Karen Reed case. Now, typically, such adjustments in public budgets are only a small fraction of authorized spending, so not, 54 times the spending authorized by Congress. There's a little bit of a difference there. Now, initially, Skidmore said he thought that Fitz had made a mistake, stating that he assumed she had meant to say 6.5 billion, not trillion. Now, according to Fitz, who worked as an investment banker before joining the Bush administration, now that is the Herbert Walker Bush, so that is the first Bush. That money was used to fund the development of what she described as a, quote, underground base, city infrastructure, and transportation system that has been hidden from the public. One of those things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going to is the underground base, city infrastructure, and transportation that has been built. She said, we've built an extraordinary number of underground bases and supposedly transport systems. Now, she told Carlson that she spent 2 years researching where the 21 trillion had gone, alleging that she uncovered evidence that there were 170 secret facilities in the U.S. alone, explaining that she and a team of investigators had combed through, quote, all the data and all the allegations on the underground bases in order to make a guess as to how many might actually exist. Now, additionally, Fitz alleged that several of these bases were located beneath the ocean, not just underground. Quote, we systematically went through and tried to guess or estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases there are, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States. And our estimate was around 170 with transportation networks connecting them. Okay. Now, when Carlson asked what the purpose of these underground bases were, Fitz responded that they would be used if a near extinction event was believed to be on the horizon. However, she added that she believes these so called bases could also be used by the government to carry out secret projects, such as a secret space program. Is this where they filmed the moon landing? Well, look, I love me a good conspiracy theory, but I think that watching the Canton trial or Karen Reed trial has shown us that the government may not be capable of pulling off a giant conspiracy without completely crapping it up. That's just me. I mean, I want to live in a world where our government is omnipotent, and at least if they're going to be in a conspiracy or lizard people, they are smart. But current evidence of all things happening in the world does not support these facts. I want our hidden cabal of lizard people to be absolutely intelligent and, omnipotent and on top of everything. But I'm going to go ahead and say I don't believe it. Now, Carlson responded by claiming that he actually knew a contractor who worked on one in Washington, D.C., stating, I remember him telling me about a power box, like a transformer box, on Constitution Avenue. He told me that it actually was the exit, the egress from the White House. And I thought, that's kind of crazy in the middle of a big city where I live. You could build something like that without me noticing it. Now, Carlson said he always assumed that these kind of bases were only located in DC and that they were meant specifically for some kind of, well, the big one dropping. To which Fitz responded, some of it is, it's in preparation for a catastrophe. Now, as far as how these alleged cities and facilities are powered, Fitz says she believes the government has found a way to generate breakthrough energy that she believes is being used to keep them open. So we've discovered quantum fusion and we decided to tell no one? Good, good. I'm glad our government's working for our elites. It's good to know our betters will survive. I'm convinced that this energy exists. If you look at a lot of the really fast ships flying around the planet, they're not using classical electricity. Well, no, because they're using jet engines. I don't know. I'm beginning to think this woman might be a little iffy. Now, Fitt's controversial claims comes just a few months after a Virginia-based company called SAFE or SAFE, Strategically Armored Fortified Environments, unveiled plans for a $300 million luxury members-only doomsday bunker called ARI. Now, the company said that its facility will offer AI-powered Medicare wellness programs and the ability to blend protection with luxury in a way that's never been done before. SAFE says it plans to build bunkers, which will cost each entrance about $2 million in membership fees in all 50 states. But it was going to construct the first one in Virginia because of its proximity to DC. Quote, it's the wealthiest state per capita, this company spokesperson previously told Realtor.com. It's ground zero for the finest demographic for something like this in the world. So, there you go. Bunkers for the rich, and I guess the rest of us will just become ghouls. So plan accordingly and make sure that you start playing Fallout so we know what to do. Honest to goodness, though, if the government and is involved in these bunkers, I have I have seen Fallout. I don't know if this is going to be a Mo wants to fight to get into this place. That being said, crazy news. I am giving it to you. Not sure how much I believe it, but hey, it's an interesting idea to think about. And honestly, if the government did this with trillions of dollars instead of figuring out if a a shrimp can run on a treadmill, honestly, I'd be less upset. Remember, you guys, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, but have a sassy mouth and carry a can of bitch fire because kindness doesn't equal doormat, even when you're in a bunker. Bye, you guys.